Minister of India didn't condemn his speech. The Prime Minister of India didn't condemn his speech. The RSS didn't condemn his speech. The Supreme Court didn't take any cognizance on his speech, on his hate, on his open call for genocide of Muslims. It took action or came into action after the world criticism from all over the world. Then they book him. He was arrested for contempt of case uh, for his remark against the Supreme Court, not for hate speech he gave. This
So,
is
so
very interesting. Now the Supreme Court is telling that his hate speech will also he will be there will be a case he will be he will be persecuted for his hate speech. This happened after the world criticism all over the world for his hate genocide call.
So what I'm hearing right now from you that actually, Yati Narsingh Anand was not arrested for the hate speech, but rather he was arrested that he was inciting and, pressing and put forwarding the message that, okay, the military and the Supreme Court will kill Hindus. That's, the question I was asking regarding that, how the academics, India is a very talented country, and it's such a big country. They contribute a lot to the world, economically, and politically. But if that's the standing position of India as a country, where you do not have the basic rights for the minority in your constitution, how do you go around the world and stand up before the world community and say, hey, Mr. World Community, I am from the biggest democracy in the world, where I intentionally oppress the minorities. Okay, this is one point. My question I was going to ask you, how does the Indian, such a intelligent country, how does the academics, the other, the scholars, those who have love and respect for the constitution, those who see that India is a country, as a country can provide a lot, can offer a lot to the world, not only to the Indian population, but to the world. But if that's the motto and that's the inspiration that BJP can come up with, maybe in short run they will be benefited, but in the long run, the India will be defeated itself, in ethically, in the constitution, and India would be marked as a oppressive country who try to openly persecute Muslims and Christian. So my question is, how does the academics and all the scholars, those are thoughtful, those are supposed to take their responsibility, those who supposed to protect the constitution, those who support the for the protection of the minority, how they are taking, not in terms of the media, but how the within the community of the vocal points, or talking to the media, not only the media, but talking to each other, the leaders of India.
Okay, let me add few points. Actually, when the speech was the Dharm Sansad was going on, BJP ministers from other states was there, and he was, touching the foots of these idiots, these sadhu sants. Secondly, the Home Minister of India didn't condemn the call of genocide for Muslims. The Prime Minister kept mum. He didn't say anything. Mohan Bhagwat, the RSS chief, he didn't criticize. He didn't see anything or disown the group. So, you know, a lot large, if the establishment is not condemning or giving moral support, technical support to this such sunset, then you can imagine what is going on there. Secondly, a section of academia, a section of intellectuals criticized and wrote letter to Prime Minister to take action against these morons. Those are students of IITs, alumni of IITs, IIMs, ex-chief of armies, ex-chief of army staffs. So all these people, Supreme Court judges, renowned professors, they wrote a letter to Prime Minister to take actions against these people. But nothing happened when they wrote letters. Actually, when the pressure came from all over the world, then the Indian government, gave their consent to persecute Narasimha Nang in case of contempt of court. Now, the Supreme Court will also take his hate speech seriously, is taking his hate speech seriously, and booked few people. There is 3 arrests only. So the situation is like this in India. But
So,
if the government is giving the support and there is no condemnation from the government, then you can imagine they have got moral support of the government. So this is not possible to persecute him, because court also look to the government. In most of the cases, the court didn't take any cognizance for 1 month, despite of being a lot of pressure in media and all, from the academician, from the intellectuals, from the army, ex-army heads, but court didn't move. After world pressure, when there was a move to go to the Senate or something, Congress in America, then there was some news that some congressman will put this have taken this matter seriously. Only then Indian government, European Union and all, only then this government came into action.
You see, Juwar, you made a few good points, and I like to just mention few that the world community's pressure, responded that at the end, Yati Narsingh Anand got arrested. First, he got arrested not because of the hate speech, but uh, so given the nature, then by reputation, Prime Minister Modi doesn't have a he is not a person that has a solid reputation. I'm not going to mention any leader's name, but for his background, he doesn't exercise that reputation as a well thoughtful, ethical leader. By his reputation, he's a very much controversial leader. Even when he was a chief minister of Gujarat, and you have made a few points that because of the world pressure, and especially the young generation from everywhere in the world, they are waking up. They are in the name of democracy. Probably you also know, Jubair, that this is the first time the world total population lives, not under, majority doesn't live under the democratic government. But if we look at around the world, we see in the name of democracy, there is an autocrat, there is a dictatorial. I can coin the term dictatorial democracy. This would be appropriate for any given country around the world. We see Europe, the right wings sometimes wake up and they make lots of noise. and we see Germany, we see France, and right now in UK, the Boris Johnson, he is also a fundamentalist prime minister of UK. And if we go back to his background, and we'll find it if we read his background, but that's given that nature, India, as I mentioned, and you also mentioned the academics and intellectual. So do you think in the near future, if this group, the academics and intellectual, the reason I am mentioning them again and again, because that's the only hope, the minority can get, and hope for that, that okay, they will come out strongly in to protect the constitution. Once the constitution is protected, then you are protected. But you also mentioned from the very beginning that the literature in the constitution, they are writing against the Muslim and the minority. That's the one thing you have to look at, because once somebody get arrested, the court is not going to go by the political opinion or how popular or how much not popular that any given person is, but court will follow the constitution. In that constitution is a oppressive, that's another weak sign for the minority who is living in India. So on that regards, can you please just share from here, Narsingh Anand got arrested. From here, where does this case go?
Actually, in a democracy like India, the court is indirectly under the influence of the government. And, I can give you a lot of examples for this. A lot of Muslim youths have been arrested on false and fictitious charges. They have been booked under citizen charges. The court knows. All the honorable courts know that there is nothing in the case, but they are in the prison for more than 2 years and all. So when we see from the eyes of the judicial system, it is not discharging their duties because of the intention of the government. Even when the protest was going on in Supreme Court, the government was saying go to the court. When the farmers were protesting, the government was saying go to the court, because they know what they cannot achieve through administrative power, the court will do. The court will favor the government. So the government official was saying go to the court, go to the court. But the farmers were not going to the court because they know what will happen in court. So this is a new a new twist. The judiciary is sleeping. Even 80 years old, 90 years old people are, in jail. They are dying in jail. But the court don't take any action because of the intention of the government. So in this case, also we see it is all this happening on the verge of, just UP election, Uttar Pradesh election. And the government technical support is to this Sansad. They were going to organize in Aligarh. They were going to organize Dham Sansad in Uttarakhand. But due to some interference of the court, the administration, stopped them. So if the government is, the intention of government is good, then justice will be delivered. Otherwise, we cannot expect justice. We see what is happening with Muslim youths. You see 22 Muslims were killed by police in Uttar Pradesh. And the police is, has filed closure report. The protesters killed themselves. There was no police firing, and the protester, Muslim protester, killed them themselves. And the police is, filing, filing closer report like this. So where is the judiciary?
Uh, Jubair, it's very concerning, and it's a very grave situation in India. Where does the human rights organization stands on this issue, or where are they? Where are they sitting? In terms of, I'm trying to say what's their role they're playing. Are they playing active role? The you know all those organization, if you have any, the human rights organization in India, are they playing active role, especially to bring this issue in front of the world community? But our viewer will get the picture of the judicial system in India. But there is a role to play, as a citizen, and especially the human rights organization, where I'm not a big fan of human rights organization, because most of the Western human rights organization, they are too busy to collect donation and sit down with some people and take an interview, then write a few essay and report. That's it. Then it goes under the tables. But where even that's only hope we sometimes the people have, and they enjoy the luxury of having an human rights organization in a country where they can go and complain or share their concern. So in that regards, where does all those human rights organizations stands, especially the hate speech that was given by Narsingh Anand?
Actually, the human rights body of the government, that is, they act as the part of the government. They are not doing their role. They are not playing their role. But other organizations, uh, which are independent bodies, they are trying to do something, but the government is muzzling them. The government is, putting a lot of restrictions and, implicating them in false cases. There are a lot of human rights activists who are in jail from 2 years. So this is the, modus operandi of the government. Because the only hope in India is the activists, the academicians, the human rights bodies, the NGOs. But the government's main prime target is those NGOs, those organizations who are vocal, who are criticizing the suppressive manner, suppressing style of functioning of the government. So they are also under pressure. They are not doing their job due to government pressure. This is the situation.